Yo, man. Now, listen. Before I get started with the chapter review, thing here is that this week I can't do any live reactions because I'm going down to Comic-Con on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I don't have the time. It takes some time to do editing for a regular review. A live reaction is far more time because you have to edit out like certain parts, and you have to snip out certain things in order to make it run smooth. So it takes a lot more editing for a live reaction as opposed to a chapter review. Doing both at the same, or doing both, does take up quite a bit of time. So because I have Comic-Con on the weekend, not gonna go down. So I said, you know what? At least let me do a review on a Thursday, mind you, which normally isn't possible, but today is an exception. So the thing here is this. This chapter of One Piece, the main thing here, obviously, is what Law's real name is, and then Corazon, which his name actually, I don't think was Corazon initially. His name, I think, was actually Rossi, or Rociante, something like that. Or Rocinante, something like that. So, thing here is that Corazon, his name changed after, I think, his dad died. Which they don't show you. But it's implied. It's strongly implied. And then, at the beginning of the chapter, we get to see Flamingo dreaming. In essence, it was a lynch mob. His arrow, his dad had arrows in his chest and in his stomach. And then him and his bro were also getting pelted with objects and so on and so forth. And they were being strung. They were strung up on the side of a building. So pretty heavy stuff. We don't know what we don't know what their mother's name was, but she died due to illness. And then from then on, we go into real-time flashback, in which we have Law training and what he's gone through, and I think maybe 2 years passed from the present. And according to him, he actually may die earlier than anticipated because the amber lead poison is spreading fairly quickly. And he's gone through. There's actually one scene in the real-time flashback that I liked, where Law and Baby 5 were taking on these pirates, this guy with a bounty, and he was gonna die. Flamingo and Korra save him, and then he's crying, and as he's crying, you see he has a shirt on, and then the shirt says "weep." I was like, so that was pretty funny, comical. But the main thing here is after we have the flashbacks within the flashbacks from either Flamingo's dream and then or then another flashback from that perspective. And then, well, actually no, I think it was it one? No, he had the dream, and then we skip over to when he picks up the Denden Mushi, and then we go back into another flashback within a flashback, that's right. And then we go back to the main flashback where Korra actually covers for Law. Even though Law stabbed right through him, he covers for him. So that kind of goes against that whole notion of he hates kids, he detests kids. So what's going on there was kind of weird. And it's not fully explained, but it looks like this whole thing was a ruse. He doesn't really hate kids per se, but he's just maintaining this image just to fool Flamingo, his bro and his bro's friends, his companions, his cohorts. So the thing here is this. You have the kids, Buffalo, Baby 5, and Law, and then they're talking amongst themselves. Law knows that he's going to die a year's time, less than that. And then Buffalo, okay, fine, so what's your real name? Because apparently, even after 2 years of doing all this stuff with them, hasn't told Buffalo, Baby 5, his real name. So he tells them his real name. Trafalgar D. That D changes the game. It's a game changer. Water Law. That's his name. Now, again, Manga Panda, it's Wattel. But, or, yeah, it's Wattel probably. Yeah, it's Wattel. But in Manga Stream, it's Water. So you have Wattel, you have Water. So I'm going water. I don't know why. I'm just going water. Fucking water. So Trafalgar D water law. Now, apparently, according to what he said, he knows, law knows that the D in his name is like a secret code name. Like, he knows that, like a secret name. And apparently the water is a taboo amongst his family. Like, I'm starting to think that, like, just how the Tenryubito are organized with, like, the whole royal family system, the D's have, like, their own, like, organization of, like, sub-families. So, I mean, like, I don't know, because, like, that whole, when you add the water thing to it, it kind of throws me off, because you have Portugas D Ace, you have Monkey D Luffy, you have Marshall D Teach, but when you add the Trafalgar D water law, fucking water. So, yeah, that aspect may be, like, another subgroup of family within the whole D spectrum. And when he hears this, Corazon, he's like, fucking, oh shit, grab the kid! Go on, what are you doing? And he's like, yo, like, did you tell Dofi this? Like, wait a second, hold on, wait, who is that? Turns around, don't you tell him. You run for the hills, and you don't look back. I don't care if you're running towards Brokeback Mountain, you keep on running. And it's like, wait, what the fuck? Full-on speeching. And this is the guy who's supposed to be mute. So, that was surprising. And now I can clearly see why Corazon risked his life. Because actually, Flamingo may be a D as well, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Because he's a Tenryubito. Like, the whole thing here is that because people have theorized that Flamingo's a D. But odds are he's not. And the reason why is this. A Tenryubito is from the royal family from decades long ago that created the world government. The world government that engaged in combat against a certain organization, a certain group. And, I mean, I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, it's the Bilkins, the Skypeans, it's those cats who were on the moon before, but whatever. It's different. I've done it before, like, a few times. Videos on that. But here's the thing. When you have an organization that was taken out by the world government, and then they were the ones who propagated the D among their children, and then their children, and, you know, the whole ancestor lineage thing, and it spread across the world. Thing here is that means that lineage of royal family, none of them are gonna have D. It's not possible. If it is, then it's weird. Like, it's very weird. Like, odds are that anyone who's a Tenryubito will not have a D in their name. Because the D represents, from my understanding, or at least from my theories, and from people's theories online, the D represents, it is a code word for those who lost in that battle. So what they stood for, what their task is, can still spread across the ages. And the code name D is significant when it comes to Raftel. But that's a whole different story. So, point here is that Flamingo isn't a D. There's no way. But Law, he's a D. He's a D, man. Now, I mean, is Eustace secretly a D too? Don't know. Odds are probably not. But then again, who knows? I mean, it may be very possible. Because Eustace may have a similar, well, not similar, but he may have a backstory in which he had to hide his real name too. Something like that. Or maybe he doesn't know what his real name is. Maybe Eustace Kid is named that he gave himself. Again, don't know. No idea. So, the point here is that we have another D. But it's the fact that Law knew, which means that Law's parents told him that there is some significance towards the D meaning. Not only that, but Law also knows, like, in real time, in real time, where, remember how he had the whole thing with Flamingo, like, on the bridge, like, the D will create another storm. I mean, raining snow, get the pun there, yay. Thing here is, well, not really a pun, but whatever, the joke. The thing here is this, though. Law knows a lot more about this whole D concept than Luffy does. Would I say Robin? I don't, because I think Robin knows a tad bit more than Luffy in the group, but not more than Law, I don't think so. Because Robin knows a lot about the poneglyphs. That's her shtick. But the whole D thing, like, you gotta be a D to get the fucking intel on that shit. So, whether or not Law knows as much as I think he knows, not too sure. But it's significant. And so does Corazon. Corazon, and listen, here's the thing. I bet you, honestly, that when it came to the royal families, when they were raising their children, they probably told their children that those who carry the name D are, like, mortal enemies. Like, they are, like, they must be eliminated, or they must be taken care of, or you avoid them at all costs. Some shit like that. They are the polar opposite of us. They are our sworn enemies. So I bet you that what goes down in the royal, in the Holy Land, Mary Jo's, all right, the Mary Jo's pub. Where in the Mary Jo's pub, D's aren't allowed because D's are their sworn enemy. So that's the way I kind of see this rolling out. So because how would Corazon, like, he's so on edge about that, like, oh shit, like, you're a fucking D, you run away, you go away, you don't look back, end of story. So again, how this plays out, we're gonna find out, but it's fascinating, and the plot between the D and the Tenryubito thickens. And I'm surprised that we're actually getting this on a Trafalgar Law backstory, on a Trafalgar Law flashback. That's surprising to me. So, yeah. The game changer. When you have that D in your name, the game changes. It's like, oh fuck. All of a sudden, now you have access to Raftel. At least that's the way I see it. I mean, well, according to Whitebeard, it looks like those who have that D have access to either Raftel the island itself, or like certain parts of Raftel, or who knows, whatever. We're gonna find out in like the future. Like when I have like 3 kids and shit, and Oda's like near his 80s, we're gonna find out what the hell is going on with Raftel. So I will see you guys later. The chapter overall, it's fascinating. It's truly fascinating. I like where they're going. This whole new twist to the story, to the flashback, that's not just significant for Law, the character, but for the entirety of the series. This whole D thing, and how the Tenryubito are probably fully aware, and how they consider the D to be a mortal enemy of theirs. Because, in essence, the Ds, they're probably going to uphold the former way of that civilization long, long ago. Meaning that they are a threat to their current system, their current way of life, which clearly the vast majority of Tenryubito want to maintain, because they are perceived to be gods. So that's it. The chapter overall, I'm going to give it a rating of a great, and I will see you guys later. Rate the video, comment, subscribe. Peace. Have a nice day. One last thing. So we get to see Corazon's face for the first time, full on. And he has like the whole like Joker thing going on. And then he has like 3 things going down like his, like the side of his eye. Like under his eye. That reminds me of like that Bone Clay shit. Like I could have swore that Bone Clay had makeup where he had like 3 spikes going down like the side, like underneath his eyes. Like I could have swore. The whole eye thing I remember seeing before. I just don't remember what I've seen before. So I that's my thing though. But during the flashbacks, every time you see Corazon, either he is spitting out some kind of like tea because it's too hot. He's falling on his ass, burning himself because of the lighter and the fur and the feather coat. But it's looking like this is all just a facade, all just something that he is maintaining to make Flamingo believe that he is, for the most part, innocent. Well, not innocent, but he's not as independent as people would first perceive him to be. But in actuality, he is, because he's talking. Like, not like struggling to talk, but he's talking in a coherent manner, in a coherent way. So, just saying. Overall, I'm done. I'll see you guys later. Again, rate the video, comment, subscribe. Have a nice one.